look at the zone consolidation then, which is pretty much the top of that zone. Never gave you a break of structure, it just gave you the testing candle. Right? But then again, let's talk about what it could be, right? End of the day, this could be a type 2 pattern, right? Could be a type 2 pattern, consolidation, break, retest. At the end of the day, this could be a 30-minute retest of the engulfing candle. If that's a valid engulfing, which I don't believe it is, because of green candle, no green candle, so no engulfing candle. This could be a retest of the 4-hour engulfing candle, but right now you would be in drawdown already 6 pips, right? This would be a 15 pip stop loss. But again, it's just really like if you would use the bottom wick, the red wick, right? But then you go again and you realize what I always talk about. Are you gonna take an engulfing candle at the bottom of the zone of consolidation in an uptrend, or are you gonna take the top engulfing candle? Right? You want to take the bottom because you don't want to take buys at the top of a zone of consolidation, especially if it didn't give you a break of structure. So it's all good, man. I'm about to go through them real quick on stream. I just turned it on. Yeah, I saw through my phone and I'm like, yeah, I know you gotta get up today. And then you text me saying you fucking took a trade and I'm like, I gotta get up today. Alright, so AU gave us 3 days of rise. Not gonna be trading it just yet. Gonna wait it out. Euro AUD. Higher high, 3 weeks of rise, got a 3rd week rise known that. Could be expecting a 4th week variation. But we have a steep pullback at the end of the week. We had 2 days of drop. Price gave us a 3rd day low and then started to push back to the top side. Gave us the inducement. After the inducement, we want to see change of character, break of structure. Did we make a new low? No. Yeah, lower high, lower low. So nothing yet. We go down to the 1 minute. Do we have a pullback somewhere? Do I want to count this? Or this? Not really. I'm not gonna be making shit up for the vibes. We'll wait this one out. Not gonna trade EA just yet. ECAT is still consolidating. I'm not gonna trade that. Again, we have no confirmation, no continuations. We're just at a higher high. 3 weeks of rise already. After 3 weeks of rise, the market must go down or move sideways. And what have we been doing? Moving sideways. So I'm not gonna mess with that. We already know what the vibes are. EU. We have the 3rd month high. That price already, or 3rd week high. That price already gave us. We know we're stuck in this little zone of consolidation. Price went to the top of the zone of consolidation, gave us a testing candle. We have 3 days of rise. Market already gave us 3 pushes, right? Already gave us that 3rd push. So right now what I'm looking for this, and again this goes back to yesterday, right? For me to really like this pair right now, I would have liked to have seen price give me a valid break of structure first and then a pullback. Because if price would have given us that valid break and it would have given us that pullback to the 4-hour engulfing, we know we could take this trade and that would have been a continuation for tomorrow, right? It would have most likely have stayed in this area to finish on a rise, no net, right? So then we could take this trade going into tomorrow's Asia session and we could take the trade back up to the top side. That's if price would have given us a break of structure. because price didn't give us the break of structure, even if today finishes on a rise no net or on a rise drop, it's still very low probability because we don't have that break of structure. So EU right now, just gonna take a step back. Already gave us that third push high, so no trades for me for today. For the EU. GA is still sitting at these lows. Same thing as excuse me. Same thing as the other pair. 3 weeks of rise. On the third week it was a rise drop. Have a very steep pullback. Could we expect price to give us a fourth week push? Could be, but we're still making lower lows and lower highs. 2 days of drop gave us an inducement of the lows. Let's start looking at GA. GA we had lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, change of character, higher high, higher low, and then we have the break of structure, higher high. So we have the change of character. Yeah. On the 5 minute. We have right. Just an engulfing candle in general. End of the day, we know we have the 800. We know we have the crossing of the EMA too. Market structure still trumps everything else. The fact that we're still making lower lows and lower highs on the higher time frame, yeah, this is already kind of giving us the first set of indications. Like, why are we gonna take a trade when price gave us a lower high, right? Price is yet to give us that break. This was just all a retest to this structure here on the 15 minute, on the 5 minute, whatever the case is. Yeah. Let's go, Vanessa. Mr. Albert, good morning, good morning. Right, so at the end of the day, right now for GA, kind of in a shitty situation with GA. Price is still trending down. Right now, again, yeah, in the 5 minute, 5 minute or 1 minute time frame, we have a change of character. We have the break of structure, but that's the only time frame we have right now that's not downtrending. I'm not gonna look at the daily. Obviously, we look at the full hour, we can see that it's downtrending now. We look at the 1 hour, we're downtrending. We look at the 30 minute, we're downtrending. So, and no valid engulfing candles. So the only other option we have, no, we had an engulfing. Oh no, valid, no green candle. The only other option we have now is to just keep an eye on this area here. Alright, which is the last red candle before the break. Right, this was the last low. Boom, to go. Right, so if price wants to give us a steeper pullback, it'll be somewhere in this area. And then at that point, we'll probably get like a 1 minute or 5 minute engulfing candle in this area somewhere. Do we have any gaps in the 1 minute time frame? No gaps in the 1 minute. So yeah, we just gotta be patient with this one, but we'll see how it goes. That was what, GA? Yeah. Alright, so GCAD is still moving counter, so I'm not gonna be trading GCAD. GJ, we're looking for a very clean break of structure of the highs, and we ended up getting them. We got the third day high already as well, so there's not going to be any trades for us for today on GJ. Just going to wait for the pullback. Once we get the pullback, then we'll be good, right? And again, we were looking for a break of structure of these highs over here, and we ended up getting them, right? So GJ could be good for continuation for the rest of the week once we get this pullback, right? Especially on the third day. If we finish today on a rise drop or on a rise no net, we know we could look for continuation, because again, if we add a line, that rise drop or that rise no net would just be a retest of the break of structure, right? So we'll get a retest somewhere in this area, then we know that tomorrow and for the rest of the week we could continue that push to the top side. We have 3 weeks of rise already, so not really gonna be forcing any trades. Just gonna wait it out for GJ. Turn that off for the day. GU, we got the change of character. Again, price never gave us a valid break, and we can see that price trapped traders, making them believe that this is a break of structure, and then went straight into stop loss with 3 candles. So GU, we're gonna turn that off. No trades for today. Again, I'm not gonna force any trades. Let's go back and talk about the reasons why I'm not really gonna force any trades today. Right? We have no news today. What does that mean? Tomorrow we got news. Right? FOMC, 2 p.m., high impact news. What does that mean for us today? Well, there's a 99% chance that today price might not even move, because we know that tomorrow price is gonna move 100 times what it's supposed to do on a day-to-day basis. So with that being said, we're going to see a lot of pairs today stuck in their zone of consolidations. We're going to see a lot of pairs be moving counter trends. We're going to see a lot of moves get set up for tomorrow. So that's the reason why we're looking at the markets, and a lot of these pairs look mad ugly. Like if you know what a chart is supposed to look like, you know it's not supposed to look anything like what it is right now. Right? And we know that this is just setting up for tomorrow, just trapping traders early, making them get into their trades early because they think, oh, FOMC tomorrow, I'm gonna hold this trade till tomorrow, right? This is the human behavior in the market, and the market makers already understand that, so they're trapping everybody right now, right? So again, we know we're looking for price to push up to the top side on GA. Cool, we're early still. Price is still making lower lows and lower highs. Once we start making higher highs and higher lows, then we'll get into the trade. If we have the opportunity to get into the trade before 2 p.m. in the NYC session tomorrow, then perfect. If not, then all good. We'll come back to it the next day. Alright, so US 30. Take a look. Mm-hmm. No, on day of arise. Right. Technically, yeah, because they're still in peak high. Yeah. Since they're still in peak high territory, technically, yeah, you would still consider this as a 372. Mm-hmm. It's all good. Good morning, Miss Jessica. Mm-hmm. On USDs are? Yeah, right here. Only thing we would need to be careful of now is if this finishes on drop rise or drop no net, is it going to give us a continuation back down to the bottom? And again, remember that ZAR has a gap at the bottom. This day here? Yeah, unless I'm tripping. You see why? Yeah, if it's still touching a wick, it would still be considered the no net. But this isn't touching at least here. I don't know why it's a no net. Because the opening candle is this one here. So it is a day of drop. 3 days of drop. Today we're looking for pricey to give us a no net or a day of rise. Got down to the 4-hour lows. Gave you an inducement of the lows already. Oh man. Got a nice break and retest too here. Cross over the 50, cross over the 200, break of structure above the 800. Oh man, regardless, I wouldn't trade USDZAR right now. Regardless, because every time frame is still downtrending. Still have this gap at the bottom. Like every time frame is downtrending still. Right, we're still making the lower lows and lower highs in the 30-minute. Right, could we have gotten a nice trade from the bottom somewhere in this area back to the top here? Yes, but then we would have to be careful with this here. Right, this retest. And either way, before price could continue to push to the top side, we need to see the break of these highs anyway. Right, and then we have clean traffic up until here. And then the same thing, we need to see the break, and then we have clean traffic up until here. Right, so just regardless what USDZAR is, just that gap at the bottom, we want to see that being filled, because again, we know we're still trading between the daily and the 4-hour lower lows and lower highs too. Gold already gave us STP for the day, so I'm not gonna be trading gold. Bitcoin is still pushing down. Right, and then oil already gave us STP for the day. So let's go back to US 39. I don't want to confuse nobody, but I left this on my chart. Am I gonna take a trade today? Probably not at all. There's really nothing on the chart today that looks appealing. Right, GA is the only one that gave us a nice change of character, break of structure. We could see it tapped into that zone and then went right back up. But I'm choosing, yeah, no engulfing candle. I'm choosing not to trade today. And again, the reason why is because tomorrow there's high impact news at 2 p.m. I'm not expecting markets to shape up today and look good today. Right, tomorrow we know the FOMC. Just think about it, right? This is a pair that moves 154 pips. Well, let's go to a USD pair. Let's go to GU. Right, GU is a pair that moves 86 pips on a day-to-day basis. Tomorrow, with FOMC being at 2 p.m., this pair will move 120, 140, 150 pips. So with that being said, what is the market makers just doing today? They're trapping traders, collecting contracts, making money, right, for tomorrow. They're shaping up their accounts for tomorrow. That's all this is. So for me, whenever I trade on a day before high impact news, especially FOMC or non-farm payroll, there's a 99% chance I won't take a trade on the day before that news. There's a 99% chance I might not take the trade tomorrow, right? Because we understand that before news, especially on the day of, the markets are going to want to move the markets during the FOMC news. So there's a 99% chance that when we wake up onto the charts tomorrow, price is going to look exactly how GA looks. that price is just consolidating. Welcome back, welcome back. So at this moment, GA is following the rules. It's doing exactly what it needs to do. It gave us a change of character. It gave us a break of structure. It gave us a retest onto the previous last red candle before the push up to the top side. It's looking good. But right now we don't have any other confirmations. We don't have any engulfing candles. Price is still making lower lows and lower highs. Right? The only thing we know right now is there's a 90% chance that price is gonna reach our 4th week variation push to the top side. And if that's the case for this week, then it's all good. There's no rush. Why is there no rush? Again, I'm okay with missing the first day. I'm okay with missing the second day. But understand that we still have how many pips to catch to the top side? We still have 131 pips to catch to the top side. If we have the confirmation after the first day and we have a confirmation after the second day, then we know we could take this trade back up to the top side. Right? So there's no rush in this game. We just got to be patient, wait for our confirmations, wait for the market to do what it has to do, and then we attack from there. So again, why do I want to be careful with GA? Let's go back to it. On the 30-minute time frame, we have 2 days of drop. Today being the 3rd day low, price gave us a new low. Right? What are the odds of price tomorrow if price finishes today on a drop no net or on a drop rise? What are the odds that tomorrow price is going to continue to respect the structure that we have, which is lower low and lower high? Right? It's a very high possibility that that might happen. Now we understand that we're on the 800 EMA. We know that price respects the 800 EMA. Price hasn't broken below the 800. So the probability of this lower low and lower high happening is very low probability, but it's still a possibility in the markets. With that being said, I want to wait for further confirmations on the higher time frames to continue to look for those buys going into tomorrow and going into for the rest of the week so we can make that new high. So right now it's tough markets today for sure, but it's only a little tough because we have news tomorrow. Right? And you can notice again, look at how the market is moving today. Exactly what we talked about yesterday. Again, if you're a trader that believes that every double bottom in the market you're gonna take it, boom, you would have lost on AU. Right? Markets are being very tough today on the people who don't know rules in the market. Right? So boom, let's just go into, if you're a double bottom and double top trader, let's see how many trades you won today and how many you lost. Just in the pairs that we look at. Right, so we have another double bottom here. We'll come back to this one. He's in that entry already though, so let's see. Right? That's 2 losses already. Look at how the market is reacting. Right, you would believe that if you're up during the end of Asia going into London, you would think that price is gonna go up today. And it fucking just melts. Right? So again, the way the markets are reacting today they're doing exactly what they gotta do. Yo, Kendall, what happened? God damn. See, so Euro USD, same shit. Right? And again, this goes further into what we teach. Right? If you don't know what a valid engulfing candle, well, no, it's not even the question. Right? If you're taking an engulfing candle at the top of a zone of consolidation before price gives you a break of structure, what do you think is gonna happen? If you take an engulfing candle at the bottom of the zone of consolidation in an uptrend, what do you think is gonna happen? So this is just a crystal clear example of what we talk about every single day. I could teach you what an engulfing candle looks like. I could teach you what a double bottom looks like. But if I don't teach you structure, if I don't teach you, like, why the fuck are you taking an engulfing candle at the top of the zone of consolidation, Kendall? Kendall, why, man? You know what I mean? Why are you doing that? Without a valid break of structure first. It would have been a completely different story if price would have given you a valid break and then the retest. But we didn't do that. So, all good. Just to go back to the double bottoms, I'm not gonna single nobody out, right? You got another double bottom here. You think you're gonna get a retest? Belt to ass on the double bottom, right? Same way with the fucking engulfing candle without the breaker structure. Anyway, let's keep going. Right, same thing with GA right now. Right, GA, same shit. Right now we have a double bottom. Looks good on the retest so far. But that's what? 5 losses and 1 potential win? You have another double bottom here on GCAD. How many traders do you think were in these buys because they were in a little 30-minute zone of consolidation, double bottom, let's take a win, right? Straight into fucking stop loss. Right? This is just live view of what we talk about every single day, right? GJ didn't have a double bottom. GU double bottom. How many traders do you think took this trade? How many traders do you think started crying before fucking 7:30 in the morning? Thinking they were gonna win. Price making higher high, higher low. We gotta take that dub. Right? That's what, 7 fucking losses already? Let's keep going. Right. US 30 doesn't have one. USD CAD doesn't really have one. USD ZAR doesn't have one. Gold just went straight up today. Bitcoin has an engulfing candle. Has an engulfing candle going up when price is still making lower lows and lower highs. But I'm not going to use the engulfing candles as an example, but there's a reason why we're not looking at this engulfing candle. And then oil doesn't have anything, right? So I hope that made sense, guys. There's pretty much no trades for today. So I'm not going to hold you guys here for long. There's no news either. Most of the pairs that we're looking at already hit STP for the day as well. So that's pretty much it. I'm not gonna really be taking any trades today. I'm gonna wait for price to do what it has to do today. Again, GA was like the only one that has a nice entry point, but it would be considered a very aggressive trade. No engulfing candles, no bounces off the EMAs. So like our confirmation that we only have is the change of character break of structure, right? That's the only confirmation. Not valid. Top wick. Yeah. So we don't have no valid confirmations to get into this trade for today right now. Especially the fact that we have 2 days of drop. Today could be that 3rd day push to then go back up to the top side. So once again, if today's trades work out on GA, then perfect. I'm okay with missing the 1st day. We know that if this works out today, we could catch a trade tomorrow. If it works out tomorrow, we could catch a trade on Thursday. If it works out on Thursday, we could catch a trade on Friday. We know that what I mean by working out, I mean if price wants to reach the 4th week high, we have all of this area. We have, again, put it into numbers. We have 280 pips to play with. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with missing 1 day. Got the feedback for the drawings. Market structure is the next lesson, right? Yep. The next lesson we'll go over is the market structure. Right, so we have 280 pips to play with for the rest of this week if price wants to continue the trend back up to the top side. So I'm okay with missing 40 pips, 50 pips on the 1st day. I'm okay with that. Right? I'm okay with missing a trade if that means that we're going to wait for structure to be built. So that's pretty much it for today's stream. Any questions, guys? Any other pair? I'm gonna end it now. Yeah, there's no trades for today. Alright, no problem. Any questions? Any other pairs? Yeah. I think I'm good for today. Yeah, 3 p.m. No questions in the chat. Alright. Yo, regain. Yo. No questions in the chat. Any other pairs you guys want me to go over? Whether or not they're on our list. Mr. Brian, welcome, welcome. Thank you, no problem. No questions. No other pairs you guys want me to go over before I go? Anything at all, let me know. It's I pretty much woke up this morning. I saw my phone and I'm like, oh man, we're not gonna have no trades for today. But I ended up wanting to just turn the stream on for you guys, give you guys a raw day of a boring trading day like it is for today, right? But this is what it is sometimes. Sometimes it's gonna be a very boring trading day. Sometimes you're gonna just wake up and not see a position. And again, it's up to you to make a decision, right? You're either gonna overtrade and say fuck your journal, and you're just gonna take a trade because, again, it's human nature to feel bad just because you didn't work today, because we're so programmed into believing that if we're not working, we're bums, we're lazy, we're not doing shit. So when you translate that into the charts, when you have 2 days, 3 days, when you have a week, 2 weeks when you didn't take a trade, right? How long can you withstand that feeling of feeling bad because you're not working, right? When again, technically speaking, you are working. Your job is to look for an entry. Your job is to look at your journal. Your job is to make sure that the entry that you're taking is an A plus setup and not a bullshit trade. So then when you do take a trade, you win. Right? I'd rather not make money than lose money. So again, it's human nature to feel that type of way. And that's why a lot of people overtrade. That's why a lot of people take 3 trades and lose 3 trades and then win 1, and then they get happy that they won 1 trade. Right? But again, the reality is that not every day is a trading day, and there's a reason for that. Again, understanding that the markets are moving weird today because we have high impact news tomorrow, that happens. That happens every week. Every week that happens every week. So we have to wait for the setup and then continue to milk entries up to peak high, exactly. Or until where the point of interest is. Right? Because if again, we know that, I'll give you the example again. Right? We know that ECAT, what pair was it? Fuck, I lost it. It was this one. We know that GA, right? We know that this week is a 4th week push to the top side. Right? We know that we have to trade Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Right? So we know that we have until Friday for price to reach these highs. Right now on Tuesday, right, what is price doing? Lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. So in order for us to look for buys, the first thing we need to see is what? We need to see the inducements of the lows, and then for price to start making higher highs and higher lows. So right now, what do we have? We have the inducements of the lows, but what we don't have yet is higher highs and higher lows. So if today, Tuesday, right, let's look at it this way. You know that the markets close, what time was it? 17 or is it 18 now? It's still 17. Okay, so let's draw this out on the chart so you can see exactly what it is that I'm talking about. Right? So we know that today, Tuesday, price is going to give us this high. What are we looking for now on Wednesday? On Wednesday, what we're looking for is for price to give us the break of these highs, to give us the retest, to then continue. If price finishes on a day of rise today, right, and price finishes on a second day of rise on Wednesday, right, what does that mean for Thursday? And again, remember, we're still reaching these highs over here, so I'm gonna mark up every single possibility that we're gonna get, right? Second day of rise on Thursday. What does that mean? On Thursday, that means we could take a trade and target the 372, right? That 3rd day high. Perfect. Now, let's say Thursday going into Friday, price finishes on a rise no net, right? So let's add another line. Right? Let's say that price finishes on a rise no net. What does that mean for Friday? That means for Friday that price is going to go back up, right? On Friday, this is where we could target that 3rd day push again, and we could target that 4th week high. So I'm okay with missing the 1st day of rise. I'm even okay missing tomorrow. But I know that Thursday and Friday, if we could continue the trend, we know that we're going to get that push back to the top side. So to put it in perspective, again, I'm okay with missing 116 pips. Because out of those 116 pips, I could still catch 180. Right? And catching 180 pips with more confirmation that price is going to go up to our direction. Because again, we're no longer looking at price. We're no longer looking for buys when price is making lower lows and lower highs. At this point, going into tomorrow and the rest of the week, if price decides to do these type of moves, now we're looking for buys when price is making higher highs and higher lows. I hope that makes sense. So it's just about being patient and waiting for the confirmations. Like again, why are we taking a trade? It does, okay, cool, right? It's the same thing with EU, right? Like starting from the top to the bottom, right? All bullshit aside, starting from the top to the bottom, right? Okay, daily time frame, we know that we started the uptrend push. Where are we right now in this uptrend push? We're at a higher high. Cool, perfect. So we already know where we're at. On the 4-hour time frame, we have 2 weeks of rise. This week being the third week, what did price already do? Already gave you that third week high. On the 4-hour time frame too, we can see that we're in a zone of consolidation, right? But this zone of consolidation is in a lower time frame. All good though. On the 4-hour time frame, what else did we have on the 4-hour time frame? We had an engulfing candle, right? So okay, cool. The first thing you have to look at is the 4-hour. Like, okay, we're in a zone of consolidation. We have a 4-hour engulfing candle. Okay, it looks good. So far, it looks good. Now let's go to the 30-minute time frame. On the 30-minute time frame, okay, you know that you're trading higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, and price gave you another higher high. On top of the fact that price already gave you another higher high, price also already had 3 days of rise. On top of the fact that today's rise was already made, so you shouldn't be looking at these trades anymore either way, what else did you have? The zone of consolidation. The fact that price never gave you a valid break of structure already tells you, okay, this is a testing candle, this is the inducement. We're not going to make higher high, higher low, higher high anymore. Price is just going to hit stop losses, it's going to consolidate, it's going to do whatever it wants to do today. If price on the 30-minute time frame would have given us a valid break, then yes, we could 100% get into another trade in this area to continue that push to the top side. But the fact that we did not get a valid break of structure is why this is not a good trade. No need to jump in early. I just haven't relearned the day's pattern and what to expect. Got you. Yeah, it's all good. In due time, it'll all click again. It's no worries at all. So that's the reason why for Euro USD. And again, GA looks good still, but I'm not gonna force any trades. I'm gonna wait for the markets to set up. That's pretty much it. But any other questions in the chat? Kendall, any other questions? Alright. Give you guys in the chat a minute. Ask any question you guys have. Or any other pairs you guys want me to talk about, let me know. If no questions, then again, that's pretty much it for today. Gonna be waiting for, we'll be doing tonight's session, the isolation session. Again, we'll talk about exactly what we talked about just now. We'll talk about it later tonight. And then we'll be back again tomorrow morning for the live trading session before the news hits. I don't usually trade news, so there's a 99.9% chance that I won't even be looking at the chart. But we'll see how that goes tomorrow. Thank you. Should I mark up other charts to continue? Or just watch price play out from my markups? Now I would just say mark up the charts that I gave you. Those are the pairs that we look at on a day-to-day basis, and the reason why is because there's some other pairs, for example, that aren't worth marking because there's no valid market makers pattern. And there's no valid market makers pattern because again, we know that some prices, for example, NZD USD right now, or like a lot of other pairs, right? NZD USD is not in a bad spot, right? So if you want to mark up NZD USD, you can, right? But there's gonna be some pairs that you're gonna look at, and it's gonna look crazy, It's gonna look crazy. There's not gonna be a valid market makers pattern, and it's not that there's no valid market makers pattern. You might see it better because you have you pay for TradingView, but we saw yesterday that even with paying for TradingView, you can't go so back further into the past. But there are some times where you've seen it on my FX Glory chart when I used to be on FX Glory. You see that sometimes my market makers pattern isn't on the daily time frame. Sometimes the market makers pattern is going to be on the 4-hour. Some of these markups here, this markup here on NZD USD, this uptrend is on the 4-hour time frame. Right? There's going to be some market makers pattern that's on the 1-hour time frame. But already on TradingView, when you go on the 1-hour time frame, you can't go too far back into the past. So with that being said, those smaller pairs, we're talking about the pairs that are at like a 0.4 value, right? This one's at 0.6. The ones that are at 0.4, 0.3, anything below $1 value, those are the pairs that don't have a valid market makers pattern on the daily time frame. So that's the reason why I took the time, and once we got on TradingView, that's the reason why I only started looking at the pairs that I have with the red folder, with the red flag next to their name. On top of the fact, these are also the pairs that move over 50 pips, right? So you have a better chance at catching a trade during the NYC session when a pair has over 50 pips compared to a pair that only moves 40, 30, 20 pips, right? Because 20 pips, we're talking about that's one fucking candle printing, right? There's not enough value in that chart. So just right now, just focus on the market makers pattern on those pairs that I gave you. That's pretty much it, to be honest. Is just keep following the streams, keep following the live session. Like, if I don't remember if I think you were yesterday in the live trading session. Like, just watch the sessions. If you want to go back and watch the sessions to just, continue to mark up your charts like you had. No, we haven't done the continuations, the days of rise, or the months, or the weeks. So don't do that yet. Just focus on the market makers pattern. If you want to go back and just watch a recording from yesterday's stream, from the day before, from Sundays, from Fridays, like, just go back into the live sessions and watch the sessions. The more you see it on the chart, the easier it's going to get to in the future, right? The more repetition you have, the better it is at the end of the day. If you want to clear your charts and then draw them again, so then that way you have more repetition, then you could do that too. But just focus on the pairs that you have on. Just focus on the pairs that I gave you the other day, and that's it. Don't add another pair, because it's just gonna get.
Excuse me, Luis. Check the 4-hour time frame chart.
Shut up, Siri. Just focus on the pairs that I gave you. Focus on just doing the market makers pattern and seeing that clearly, because again, the market makers pattern is what's going to give you that bird eye view. That's what's gonna give you the bird eye view to understand. For example, it's going to give you that understanding that NZD USD, yes, even though we can see lower low and lower high, where are we? We're at the bottom of the zone of consolidation, and we never got a break of structure. And we know that for price to give you a valid lower low, lower high, you need that break of structure. If price is just testing these lows, then you know that price is going to just give you a steeper pullback. Regardless of knowing that you have a gap at the top of the market, regardless of any other rule, the market maker pattern already gives you that first confirmation to understand that if you don't have a break of structure, you have no trade. Very similar to US oil, right? It gives you the bird eye view to understand it doesn't matter that price gave you a lower low here, because price didn't give you a break of structure of these lows the same way that it happened here, the same way that it happened here, the same way that it happened here before the push to the top side, is the same thing that's going on here. It gives you that bird eye view to understand that you need to see the break of these lows first to then continue the top side, right? Very similar with Euro USD for what happened today. Very, very similar, right? A zone of consolidation, understanding where you're trading in. This already gives us a bird eye view. It doesn't matter what's going on inside of this zone. It doesn't matter that I got a change of character. It doesn't matter that I got a break of structure, right? At the end of the day, did we get a valid break of structure of these highs? No. So we already know that price isn't going to continue higher high, higher low, higher high. We know that this is an inducement, and we know that price is going to go back down and hit everybody's stop loss for the day, right? So before anything else, again, like, I could teach you the patterns, I could teach you engulfing candles, I could teach you double bottoms and double tops, I could teach you what an order block looks like, I could teach you turtle soup, right? I could teach you what a flag post pattern looks like. I could teach you a fib retracement. But at the end of the day, if you don't know market structure, if you don't know where you're trading, and you don't know the rules as to why you have to wait for those valid breaks before you look for an entry, you're going to lose 90% of your trades. And that's what I'm trying to avoid when I'm trading, right? I don't want to take a loss. I'm good with that. I've taken enough losses when I was learning how to trade. You know what I mean? So like there's no point in taking a trade now when you're already profitable and you know what you're supposed to look at. Right? Just go back and watch today's session back. Like as soon as I open the chart, I'm already talking about whether or not I'm gonna take a trade. Like I already know that I'm not gonna take a trade today. I already know that these are all booty trades. Now, like I'm again, if you want to go back and watch another person's stream, I mean, I'm not gonna say her name, but you know who I'm talking about. Go watch her stream. Yes, Vanessa knows her too, right? Go watch that person's live stream yesterday, and go look at the last from like the 45-minute mark to the end of the stream, and go look at the trades that she was taking. She took 3 fucking losses back to back to back to back on the same pair, just revenge trading. Just, oh, I'm gonna take it again. I'm gonna take it again. We still have an opportunity. When we didn't, I was watching it live here on Discord after our session yesterday, and I was like, yo, what the fuck is she doing? And again, that was the trade that I took after the NYC session at 1:32 p.m. Right? So when she took 3 losses back to back in this area trying to look for buys, look at my markups. Like, why am I going to take a buy position when we still don't have a valid break of structure? Why am I going to take a buy position when price is still giving us lower lows and lower highs? Right? So there's a lot to boil down to. This entry to before. So it's very simple. So what before the NYC session, what was the one thing that was still saving this trade that we talked about yesterday? Right? So the fact that we have 3 weeks of drop, what do we know that price is gonna do this week? Okay, perfect. On the 30-minute time frame, what was the only pair that hasn't hit STP yet? Okay, so what does that mean? It means that NAS still has to go up. It still NAS doesn't have. Let me rephrase that. NAS still has to push for STP, right? When she was taking a trade, what did price start doing when she was taking the trades at 9:30, 10 o'clock, 10:30, 11? What was price doing? That's it. It was faking everybody out. She was taking trades in these areas when price in the 1 minute was giving you lower lows and lower highs. So what did we wait for? Now, the lower lows and lower highs, did we get a valid break of structure of the lower low? No. We got price respecting the 800 EMA. We had price inducing the lows, right? Same thing here. Again, we never had a break of structure. It was just the inducement of the lows. And then what did price start doing? Higher high, higher low, and then in the higher low, it gave us the engulfing candle, and then it gave us the break of structure. That's all. That's the only difference. Again, you're not always going to get the break of structure happening first. It's not always, bless you, it's not always going to happen. However, we have the confirmation that price has to push up. We already had 3 weeks of drop. After 3 weeks of drop, we know the market's going to either move sideways or go up. We already know how much the market is going to move with STP. It hit STP 100% and then reversed. We already know how much the market is going to move. Like, yo, we have the fucking blueprint that makes us look like fucking geniuses. Like, yo, how did you know how to take profit before price reversed? I would have held this trade to the fucking moon. Like, we're not here guessing. Like, we're here literally playing the game of trading. We're traders. We're not guessers. I'm not here to say I'm gonna take a trade and take a fucking 1 to 40. Like, I'm not here to take one candle print. I'm here to take what the market is going to give me. right? So the fact that we already saw prices on the 800 EMA, prices testing the lows and not breaking lows, after it gave you the inducement of the lows, after it started faking out these traders going short, what happened? Price started giving you higher high and higher low. After price gave you the first higher high and higher low, what did price give you? It gave you an engulfing candle. After it gave you the engulfing candle retest, price went straight into profit, into STP. That's it. That's literally the breakdown. And we could go deeper into it. Again, like we know we could use other pairs as confluence. If NAS, S&P, US 30 is going up, what's happening with USD CAD? It's going down. Price on USD CAD was going down all day yesterday. With USD ZAR, what happens with USD ZAR? It moves opposite. It went straight down the entire time. Right? Bitcoin. What happened with Bitcoin at that time? Straight up. We know that they move very similarly. So even if we wanted to use the forehead play and fucking look at other pairs as confluence, we could use that. You know, there's no issue with that. And again, the biggest difference between NAS and US 30, the reason why I ended up taking NAS instead of US 30 is because US 30 hasn't completed the third week drop. So we can't, so that's one confluence that we can't use on US 30 that we could use on NAS. So it's just about putting the pieces together. Like, yes, we could sit here and say, yo, but they move the same. Why wouldn't you trade them the same? It doesn't matter. Because the one day that, and you've seen it in the past, the one day that you think US 30 is gonna move similar to S&P or very similar to NAS is the day where they move fucking differently for some reason. Even though they move the same 90% of the time. And again, I know that because my brother loves trading S&P. And there's something that never clicked to him, which is, again, yes, even though they're all indexes, they're all different indexes. US 30 is the top 30 companies, S&P is the top 500 companies, NAS is the top 100 companies. So again, is there going to be days where one of the indexes move differently than the other? Yes, because at the end of the day, even though they're indexes, they're different indexes. Right? On a perfect in a perfect world, yeah, they should all move the same. But there's going to be a day where it doesn't move the same. So I'm not going to treat them the same. I look at my trading rules the exact same way as any other pair. It doesn't matter what I'm trading. If I have 2 weeks of drop and we haven't gotten that third week low yet, I can't use the 4-hour time frame as a confluence to say, well, we have 3 weeks of low, price could only do two things, either chop or go up, right? The way that we say with NAS, right? With NAS, we already know we had a third week low. We already know there's only one fucking way the price is gonna move. We know that for a fact. And all we had to wait for is the inducements to be made at these highs, and that's exactly what we waited for. It's exactly what we were waiting for, is the inducement. Once we got the inducement, price started trending. Cool, we already know that price has to hit STP. We know that there's going to be, if volume isn't shown at 9:30 in the morning, if price isn't being shown at 10 in the morning, at what time is price going to start moving? It's going to start moving at 1, 2 p.m. until 3:30, power hour, right? Exactly. Until 5 p.m. That's it. What's good, Muhammad? What's the stream, my brother? I was listening from the beginning on my way home. Alright, bet. Correct. Zone consolidation. hmm Even like what price is doing now. Again, like, yeah, we have, not only do we have a break of structure at the top of zone consolidation, but we also have the break of structure. Oh no, that's it. We're still trading lower low and lower high. So again, now your next question should be, well, you have a break at the top of the zone of consolidation. Why wouldn't you look for price to go back up? Because again, we understood that these buy positions was, again, just us looking for lower high, lower low, lower high. Could price go higher and then go back down? Yes. But we know that this is a lower high. So why am I going to take another buy position when price already gave us that lower high? Muhammad said, no, for this session has to be watched by everyone. A lot of gems and eye-opening stuff, of course, bro. But these are all stuffs that, bro, like 3, 4, 5 years ago, I couldn't see this. But again, it's just all repetition at the end of the day. Like, many hours do I have on the charts? How many hours do I have of going back and forth with myself, trying to figure out why I lost a trade? What makes this trade differently than the other trade? So, back testing isn't just, oh, I lost a trade, let me journal. Entry, exit, okay, I lost. Close my journal. Like, no, bro. Like, you have to go back. Like, okay, if you're trading the same trading plan every single day, and you lose a trade today but you win one tomorrow, okay, what made yesterday's trade different than today's trade? Why did I win this one? Why did I lose that one? Was it the candles? Was it the zone? Was I in a trend? Whatever the case is, there's always a reason as to why you lost a trade. Always. Because again, this isn't the casino. This isn't, oh, I'm gonna fucking put $50,000 on black and I lost, and then you're gonna go to the house and ask them, why did I lose? Like, there is no reason. It's 50-50. The house has to win. That's not what trading is. There's always a reason as to why you won a trade, and there's always a reason as to why you lost a trade. Always. From breaking down Kendall's trade to the patience talk to this. Yes, sir. There's always a reason as to why you win or you lose a trade. It's just whether or not you want to put in the time to really understand it. So that's pretty much it for today, guys. Again, any other questions? Any other pairs you guys want me to go over? Anything you guys want me to explain before I go offline? Let me know. If not, then we'll see you guys tonight. I stopped losing in golfing since that AU trade that you broke down. That's how it should be, man. Like, trading these engulfing candles really are that simple. Right? Again, especially for today's trade on EU. And we talk about that every single day. Sorry, Kendall. Every single day. Like again, right? And I give the examples every single time. Like, it doesn't matter. That's it. That's besides the point, right? Let's just talk about, again, the zone of consolidation, which is the easiest thing to see in trading. Like, why am I going to take a double bottom at the top of the zone of consolidation before the break of structure? Why am I going to take a bullish flag post pattern at the top of the zone of consolidation before the break of structure? Why am I going to take an engulfing candle at the top of the zone of consolidation before the break of structure? Right? If there's an order block at the bottom, right? If there is an order block somewhere here, why would I take an order block before the break of structure? Right? And then you look at the difference. Like, that's the cool thing about EU, is that you look at the difference. I would rather take the engulfing candle at the bottom of the zone of consolidation, right, after the inducement was made, to go back to the top of the zone of consolidation. If price gives me yeah, cause we had a lot more confluence here too. We had the break, we had the break of structure, we had the last red candle before the push to the top side, which was in this area. So yeah, I would have taken this trade if we were up for that. This happened at 3 in the morning. So definitely would have taken that trade, no doubt. Mhm. It's just a confirmation. Well, there's a lot of differences. There's a lot of differences. Again, it's the fact that we had 2 weeks of rise already, right? Price already gave you that third week high, which was that push to the top side, right? Before you got into the trade, right? Because you got in after the trade, after it did this, right? So on EU, it already gave you there are two things that it already gave you. It already gave you that third week high, and it already gave you the 372, right? On top of the fact that it gave you the third week high and it already gave you the 372, it gave you the inducement of the high, right? After it gave you the inducement of the high, that's it, right? You go down to the lower time frame, right? Let's even look at the lower time frame so you can see everything else, right? Because at least on NAS, we saw that price on the lower time frame was just inducing. Right here on the 5 minute, we don't really have anything. Right on the 1 minute, let's say we get aggressive with this and say that this is higher high, higher low. Right? What did price do on EU? It gave you lower low change of character, lower low break of structure, lower low break of structure. Like, at what point did EU stop and give you an opportunity to take this trade? Right? Compare this lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, and it's not even like tight lower lows and lower highs. Like, we can't even compare it to NAS because it looks completely different. Right? How can we compare price trending as much as it was on EU compared to, again, remember, EU was just straight lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, straight back down to the bottom. Right? NAS, what was it doing? Higher high, lower low, right? Testing. All of these candles were testing, right? Lower low, lower high, again, lower low, testing the lows again, no real break of structure, and then it started giving you higher high, higher low, engulfing candle, retest, break of structure, higher high, higher low, to then continue to push to the top side. Right? Like, you can't even compare when it comes to structure, because again, even if you would have gone into the, I feel like, did you go into the lower time frame on EU? Thank you. If you would have said yeah, I would have been a little bit more pissed. But that's it. Like, the only thing that was missing for you to not take this trade would have been the lower time frame. Because at what point here in the lower time frame, in the pullback, did you have an opportunity to take a trade going long? Never did. Like, we can't even sit here and be like, you know what? Yeah, it was the 1 minute time frame that fucked you up because you saw price consolidate and then you had a little break and you thought that this was gonna be the break to continue back to the top side. Like, we can't even say that. Like, you literally took a trade when price was making lower lows and lower highs. You know what I mean? Like, there's no there's nothing here that really, in the 1 minute time frame, there's nothing here that you could say that's like, yo, I fucked up because, I thought we had to flip on the 1 minute or the lower time frame. Like, there is none of that. Price literally showed you making lower lows and lower highs. Right? Like we could go into yesterday trade with the chicks trade. Right? It's like, you took buy positions when price was still showing you lower lows, lower highs. That's it. That was the karma, man. That was the karma. I told you not to type nothing in that goddamn chat. She fucking, nah, fuck that. I still have to link on my journal. Remember it. Yeah, I mean, it's all good. That's what it is, bro. Again, we're human. At the end of the day, we're human. We're gonna make those. We're not robots. We're gonna make human errors. If you have all of those rules in front of you, Muhammad, are you gonna remember it because it's right in front of you and you could just see it on the days where you're like, fuck, man, what am I looking at? Or are you gonna have a better chance at remembering it, when you close your eyes and you imagine your journal? Like, no, bro. Like, fucking have the journal in front of you, have your notes in front of you, have that shit written out. The day that you need the rules and the day that you need to look at it, you look at it, and that's it. And like, I've been saying this for the last couple of days too. We're human. We're gonna make mistakes. We're not a robot. But the more you do it, the less mistakes you're gonna make. The more you see it, the less mistakes you're gonna make. That's all that it is, man. Live to see another day. It's part of the game. It sucks, but this isn't the time to close your journal and be pissed off all day. Nah, this is the time to fucking journal the trade, understand why you lost, and don't take that fucking stupid ass loss again. That's it. That's really all it is. You don't take that bullshit ass trade again. Yo, as soon as you text me talking about you entered EU, yo, I got out of bed so fast. I got out of bed so fast. I was I was I was scrolling through TikTok all happy and shit like, yo, I don't gotta wake up today, man. My people's got it. Hell no. He said I took a trade. I was like, oh, I gotta get out of fucking bed. And then not only that, I got two bad news back to back. He said he took a trade, and then my brother said his car broke down. To go pick him up. I'm like, yo, I'm gonna miss a fucking trading day. There's no way. But then he fixed it. He's like, alright, man, I got it. Like, alright, cool. That all happened in a span of 10 minutes, Muhammad. My fucking morning almost went to shit completely. Would have been stuck in traffic for a fucking hour taking the kids to school because he can't take me back home. Like, yo, would have been a fucking horrible morning. But we good, man. We're locked. Two things can't happen back to back, man. Two bad things cannot happen back to back. It almost did, but it didn't. All in due time, bro. Like now you know about news. Like yo, you know you're trading on a day before high impact. Yo, especially we're not even talking about high impact news. We're not gonna talk about PPI. We're not talking about fucking unemployment claims. No, we're talking about on a day on a day before FOMC, on a day before non-farm payroll. You know the markets are gonna be weird. You know the markets are just hitting everybody's stop losses to collect more money to get more volume for tomorrow's trades. And we already know that tomorrow morning, there's a 99% chance the charts are going to look just like this. And then at 2 p.m., we know price is going to either spike crazy up or spike crazy down. And then we know Thursday, Friday is going to be a calm last 2 days of the week because there's a 90% chance that tomorrow's trades at 2 p.m., there's a 90% chance that ADR for the week is already going to be hit. So we already know that Thursday and Friday we could look for trades, but it's going to be a lot more slower pace compared to the beginning of the week where price hasn't stopped moving. Right? If you compare Friday, Monday to how price is moving today, what's the difference? There's no trend. Price is literally just moving sideways. Yeah, we could see internal movements, but when we're looking at it in the 30-minute, what is price doing? It's just trapping traders. Right? So it's making traders believe, like if we talk about GA right now, if we talk about GA and we go down to the lower time frame, what is this for a lot of traders who don't know market structure? How are they trading this? Higher high, higher low, lower high, low, higher high, lower low, lower high. Oh my god, I'm gonna take a trade going short, lower low, lower high, right? Like you gotta think about it. You gotta put yourself in a position to be able to see both sides of the market. You have to be able to see, you know, even in the 1 minute. Let's structure is a lot more clear in the 1 minute. Higher high, higher low, higher high. How many traders do you think are in this trade right now going short? Right? Just think about that. How many traders do you think are in a trade going short right now because this is a double top? Right? So when you start looking at the market like, okay, cool, I could see that there are trapping traders going long, right? Which are the traders who took this trade here. And you have the traders going short who are the traders going here. And where is price right now? In the middle of that zone. So what are the market makers going to do right now? What do you think the best play for the market makers is to do right now? Do you think it's going to be smart for them to just go straight into profit? Or do you think they're going to hit these people's stop loss and then go back down and hit these people's stop loss and then go up? You got to think this game not only from your point of view, you have to think of it of the other point of view, which is the sellers, and you have to think of it of the other point of view, which is the market makers. As soon as you start seeing that, like holy shit, right now everybody's being trapped. Everybody's being trapped. The sellers who are so happy right now because they're in profit, and the buyers who are in this fucking buy position because they're in profit, you gotta think of it as the market makers like, yo, I'm pissed off because all these people are in the fucking profit. I need to make my money back. And you already could see how the market makers are trapping traders. Again, the candlesticks and market structure is a language of the market. If you can't see that, it's going to be very difficult. You already see how the market makers are trapping traders. We could already see that. We could see how they're trapping the buyers. We could see how they're trapping the sellers. We could see how they're going to use tomorrow's news to fuck everybody with no lube, no condom. They're fucking you. That's it. Like, yo, as soon as you see that, that's the first thing I look at when I open up the charts, and I already know I'm not going to trade today. Just gonna let the market makers do what they gotta do. I'll wait for the trend to start developing. Once the trend starts developing, again, I'm not gonna be pissed about missing 67 pips today. I'm not. Why? Because I have, again, 270 fucking 9 pips left for the week if price starts coming into our direction to give us that 4th week push. If price decides to not go up and it goes down, then cool. I don't trade counters, so I don't care about price going down. If anything, that's better for us. Because again, what are we looking for? Higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. If price comes down and gives us a regular retest off the 50 EMA, then we know we have 774 pips left to play with before price goes into the previous peak high territory. So again, like, why am I going to be anxious about catching 80 pips when I know that I still have 800 pips left to play with? There's no point. There's no point in rushing this shit. Mr. Bashir, welcome, my brother. Good morning. Market maker will go for stop punt first. Exactly. So there's no point in rushing this shit, bro. There's a lot more pips left on every other pair, on every single pair, on a day-to-day basis. Like if there's a day on the market where you have to ask questions and shit just doesn't look good, don't take a trade. Wait for the next day. If the next day there's no opportunity, cool. Wait for the next day. If there's nothing on the next day, then cool. You wait for the next day. Like, yo, there's no point in rushing this shit. We talked about that shit yesterday. One trade in a month with the right account size, with the right trade, with the right 100% trade, all you need is one fucking trade. And we see that shit all the time. You know, you guys all look at fucking people online on Instagram. You see one fucking trader take a fucking $75,000 profitable trade. Cool, you could do that too, but you're not gonna do that shit if you're taking a trade every single day and losing your account every single day. If you wait for that one fucking setup that looks picture perfect and you take that trade, that's how you're gonna get that 70k payout. But you're not gonna get that 70k payout by taking bullshit trades every single day. It doesn't work that way. So, that's the reason why I'm not anxious. I don't get nervous trading because I already, we've seen it already. You guys see the fucking trades I take. We don't gotta talk about me that much. But that's pretty much it, man. Like, again, yeah, US 30 looks perfect for buys, but then you go and you look at your pairs that have confluence with US 30. Like USD CAD is going down, USD ZAR is still going down, but then you look at Bitcoin and Bitcoin is also going down. And this is where I was talking about earlier. There's going to be some days where some of these pairs aren't doing what they're supposed to be doing. And that's okay. It happens. That just means you gotta stop fucking taking a trade because you don't know what's gonna happen either. If the markets don't know what the fuck they're doing, how the hell do you know what you're doing? Just think about that. If the market has no fucking clue what it's doing right now, how the hell are you gonna know what you're doing? It's impossible. Just don't stop taking a trade. It is what it is. Come back the next day. It is what it is. So, damn, gold. They didn't give me no fucking pullback. You just fucking kept going. But it's all good. Alright, so again, that's pretty much it for today's stream, guys. We'll end it here. Any other questions in the chat? I know it's been a pretty good stream so far. Just a lot of explanations and examples and a lot of talking and shit. But any other questions? Any other pairs you guys want me to go over before I go offline? Let me know. If not, we'll be back again tomorrow, or we'll be back tonight. Sorry, we'll be back tonight for the isolation session at 7 p.m. And then we'll be back again tomorrow morning for the live trading session before the news at 2 p.m. Muhammad said, great yap session. Nice. It's fucking yap session. Speaking like a real old man over here, man. A lot of gems though, bro. Too much gems. Too many gems for free, bro. Mike already told me I gotta start charging motherfuckers $10,000. Yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna do. Fuck it. This is a take this as a private school lesson instead of a public school. If you guys want to go look at a public school lesson, you guys could keep watching those free YouTube streams on YouTube. But if you want to get a private school lesson, and get your education from a private school where it's gonna be real information, then $10,000 a year, man. That's not a lot. $10,000 a year. That's 1,000 pips that you need with a dollar lot size. You guys could do that. And then if you want signals, it's $300 a month. That's what, 30 pips on a dollar lot size. That's easy, bro. We catch 30 pips in our fucking sleep, man. You guys could pay that off with one trade, dollar lot size, $300 a month. Yeah, I gave you guys 300 pips the first 3 days of March. So already in the beginning of March, that's your paycheck you gotta send to me.
Yeah.
Just cause I said one day. Nah, man, we'll keep doing this shit for free. I'm not gonna be charging for this shit. There's a lot of good information. I'm not gonna sit here and bash everybody on YouTube. There's a lot of good information that a lot of these people have. But again, the one thing that these people don't have is market structure. These guys are trading blindly in the market. And again, it's not that their strategies are bad. It's not that they don't know how to trade. Right, but it's a different game. It's a completely different game of what we're doing compared to 99.9% of the traders who are on YouTube, on TikTok, on Twitter, on Instagram. Again, you look at E's portfolio, you look at my portfolio for the last 2 years, and you guys will see the biggest difference. There's a reason why I ended 2024 on a 90% win rate. There's a big difference as to why in 2025 I'm at a 100% win rate. Right, and then you look at everybody else's portfolio, you see everybody's streams, and they're talking about, oh, I'm at 100% win rate, but then you look at their portfolio and 70% of their trades hit break even. So it's like, are you really at 100% win rate, or are you just getting lucky because you know how to place your stop loss at break even? So yeah, it's a completely different ball game. We're in a different playing field than these people. And it's they don't know market structure. Obviously they don't know market makers pattern. Nobody knows that shit the way we know it. But that's the reason why we do these streams, to try to educate those who actually want to be educated. That's why we don't provide signals. That's why you don't see me here on stream giving you guys signals. I give you guys the education. And then you have some traders who like it, and then you have some traders, this guy talks too much, I'm gonna go look at these other people because they're taking trades, even though they're losing 70% of their fucking trades. But they feel good because, again, they feel good when they enter the trade. If you still feel emotion when you take a trade, then you're doing something wrong.
Yeah,
so there you go. Where's E? Nah, man, he's chilling right now, man. He's just he's still in New York. He might be going back sometime next week back home, but he's just chilling right now, handling some business over there. But he did tell me he'll be back after he'll be pretty much back in April, like mid-April. So he'll be coming back and doing some sessions with you guys mid-April, like April 20th or possibly some shit like that.
Yo, yo.
Yo.
Yo, yo. Hey, on the court, boy. What?
That's calm, yes sir.
On the court.
Alright guys, again, any other questions? Anything else you guys wanna talk about? Anything else you guys want me to explain? Oh, you said Euro USD, my bad, Bashir. Yeah, so Euro USD was actually one that is one trade that Kendall took today, and he took a small loss, right? I think he got out at break even, right? But we'll start from the top, right? So Euro USD, we know we're in the first zone of consolidation, right? We still don't have a break of structure of the highs, no breaks of the lows. We were just testing these lows, right? And then price started trending to the top side. So right now we're at a higher high, right? And again, at a higher high, same thing we were talking about in yesterday's stream and on Sunday, right? We know that there's two movements that the market makers are going to make. Either the trend, right? Higher high, higher low, lower low, lower high, or when price consolidates, right? In this area at the higher high, we go down to the lower time frame. What did price start doing? Started moving sideways. It started giving you a zone of consolidation. So price also already gave you 2 weeks of rise. Price this morning at around 1-2 a.m. it gave you that 3rd week high, and price also pushed to the top of the zone of consolidation, right? On the 30-minute, we could see the zone of consolidation a lot more clear. We also had 2 days of rise, and again, at the start at the end of Asia going into London session, it gave you that 3rd day push already. On top of the fact that it already gave you that 3rd day push, what did price do at the top of the zone of consolidation? And I'll let you answer that question, Bashir. If you're still in the chat, I'll give you a minute. Did price give you a break of structure of the zone of consolidation, or did price give you an inducement of the top of the zone of consolidation? I'll give you, anybody who knows the answer, you can answer it in the chat. Right? Did price give you a break of structure of the zone of consolidation, or did price give you a inducement, right? A testing of the highs of the zone of consolidation? I'll give you guys a few seconds to answer that question in the chat. Right? An inducement, right, Kendall? Exactly. Good boy. Oh, you're gonna be so pissed. Good boy. Good boy is crazy. My bad. Right, Bashir. So you have the inducement of the high. So that's it. Once you get an inducement of the high, you already know, okay, what's the probability of price going to continue this trend here, right? So that's all it was for Euro USD. Before I could take a trade on Euro USD, I need to see that break of the zone of consolidation. That's all we're waiting for. Call it an inducement? Exactly. So that's it. Once you get the inducement of the high, that's all you have left, right? You have no valid entries here, because again, before you could even take a trade at the top of the zone of consolidation in an uptrend, you need to see the break of structure. After you get the break, you're looking for the retest. Once you get the retest, this is where you'll start looking to take trades again, right? And at this moment, we can see that price is now making internal lower lows and lower highs. Had it been price closes above it, it will call it a break of structure. Exactly. If price would have given a valid break, then all the other entry criteria that we did have for Euro USD would have been valid. For example, right at the top of the zone of consolidation, we had an engulfing candle, right? The fact that price never gave you a valid break of structure is the reason why this engulfing candle didn't work out. If price would have given us a valid break of structure and then a retest, this is where we would have gotten into the trade to continue that push to the top side. Thanks, bro. Have a nice day. Likewise, my brother. So that's pretty much it for Euro USD. So that's pretty much it for today, guys. Again, I'm not really gonna be taking any trades. You know, just to kind of go back and look at any other pairs. Again, like AU, I'm not really looking at anything just yet. EA, I'm not looking at anything just yet. ECAD is still moving counter trend, so I'm not really looking at anything there. Again, Euro USD never gave us a valid break, so I'm not looking at anything with Euro USD. GA is the only one that gave us not a clean entry, a very aggressive entry, but I'm not going to be looking to take this trade today for GA. GCAD is moving counter trend, so I'm not looking at anything there. GJ, I'm looking for a pullback, pretty similar to Euro USD. The only difference with Euro USD and GJ is that GJ did give us a valid break of structure. After the break of structure, we're looking for a pullback, right? So I'll be looking for a pullback on GJ to continue this uptrend push, but I need to see a pullback, right? If I don't get that pullback, then I have no trades on GJ. GU, same thing, right? I was looking for a valid break. We never got that valid break of structure, and price went right back down to the bottom, right? So no trades on GU. US 30, not looking at anything just yet. Again, we have 2 days of rise, but you can see that price is still moving counter, still just pushing down. So gonna just wait it out for US 30. USD CAD and USD ZAR are both moving counter trends, still making lower lows and lower highs. So right now I'm not gonna be looking for any trades. Gold, as soon as the market opened, it just continued the push, never really gave us a break of structure retest. It just gave us a break and then continued the trend to the top side. Bitcoin at this moment is still moving counter trends, so again, this is another pair that I'm not really going to be looking to take any trades just yet. And then US oil is still giving us higher highs and higher lows, moving counter trends. So right now I'm just going to be patient. Once again, we have news tomorrow at 2 p.m. so there might be a 90% chance that we might not even have any trades during the NYC session before that 2 p.m. news, that high impact news at 2. So might be a pretty slow trading day today and tomorrow. But if that's the case, then we know that Thursday and Friday are going to be pretty simple days to trade. We just got to wait for structure to play out first. Once price starts making structure again, that's when I'll start looking to take trades. So hope you guys have a good rest of your day. We'll be back again tonight for the isolation session, where again we'll break down everything that we talked about this morning. We'll talk about it again tonight. We'll update our charts, see how price finished towards the end of the day, and then we'll be back again tomorrow morning for the live trading session. Hope you guys have a good rest of your day. Peace out.